In the top stories, Town Hall meeting on Oldwood Bay Road construction set for Wednesday. Government vows to do everything it can to protect citizens from coronavirus, and CMO outlines steps to protect oneself from the coronavirus. The details on these stories and more after the break. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. Fisherfolk and residents of the Oldwood area are being invited to another town hall meeting regarding the Oldwood Bay Road this week. During a brief interview with ZIZ, Chief Engineer at the Public Works Department, George Gilbert, explained that the press conference is necessary to address concerns that were shared by members of the Oldwood community.
I think that they were unsure of what they were getting, and there was the fear factor too, that you are building a road on the seaside, which they turned out to be a challenge. They asked questions about EIA and other things, which we find were legitimate questions. And we actually took a number of what their concerns into consideration, and then we proceed and continue building the road. And now we are at an advanced stage, so now we are going to engage them again so they can see exactly what we are doing.
The chief engineer explained that a number of changes have been made since work on the project started.
What we are preparing for right now is to compact the roadway and then cast the concrete in that area there. And then we'll lay the asphalt, put guardrails in place, lighting, and then we continue to put the stones on the seaside to prevent the waves from coming over onto the road.
During the Oldwood Bay Road project, the new road will be extended on the reclaimed land and be approximately 24 feet apart from the existing road. It will also be elevated several feet above the current road and have guardrails on both sides for the overall safety of road users. The town hall meeting will be held on the new strip of road at Oldwood Bay on Wednesday, 4th March from 6 p.m. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis will do everything in its power to protect all citizens and residents. This was the statement made by Chair of the Mitigation Council, Attorney General Honorable Vincent Byron, who addressed members of the media during the COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, press conference hosted by the Ministry of Health on March 2nd.
I want to assure you and everyone in St. Kitts and Nevis that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis places the highest priority to protect our citizens. Nothing more we can say than we expect to do whatever it takes to make sure that every citizen is protected from this outbreak if and when it does come to our shores.
Attorney General Byron said it is important for our people to understand preparation is key and urged everyone to not panic.
I want to assure you that you need not panic. You need not panic because we have planned, we have prepared, and we continue to plan and prepare every day. We are training our people, our workers, to be able, in the event that anything untoward happens here, that we are ready to take it on.
He commended Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws for the efforts, research, and ongoing work seen by her and her team. And in other national news, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws says although the Ministry of Health has the capacity to detect, contain, and manage the coronavirus disease outbreak, our people must do their part by preparing themselves. She was at the time delivering remarks during a coronavirus update press conference in the Parliamentary Lounge at Government Headquarters on Monday. Dr. Laws shared measures that can be used to protect oneself from the virus, noting the importance of washing hands thoroughly for 20 seconds and avoiding close contact with persons with cold or flu-like symptoms.
You need to avoid shaking hands. Let me repeat that. In the event that the virus is here or gets here, you need to avoid shaking hands. We need to be innovative and use alternative means of greeting our friends and loved ones. Use disposable gloves when handling contaminated surfaces. Avoid touching your face, your eyes, nose, mouth. We subconsciously do this, and so we need to start practicing from now. Let me repeat. We need to intentionally avoid touching our face, our eyes, nose, and mouth.
She also explained how critical hand hygiene is to staying protected against the virus.
Hand hygiene is very, very important. Actually, the evidence tells us that this is the best weapon against this virus, hand hygiene, even more so than using a face mask. Secondly, we want to recommend that you avoid close contact with anyone with cold or flu symptoms. In other words, you are to maintain a safe distance, 1 meter or 2. Remain 1 meter or 2 from persons who are visibly coughing and sneezing. Persons with respiratory symptoms should cover their nose and mouth when coughing and sneezing, either with a tissue that's disposable or coughing in your flexed elbow.
Dr. Laws said that COVID-19 is spreading rapidly across the globe, adding that the risk of having the virus hit the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is high. She said that our people stand a better chance of being prepared and protected ahead of an outbreak of the virus on the island. After the break, Ministry of Education issues another jump trip challenge warning, and Alliance Francaise hosts school exchange program. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Ministry of Education is repeating its warning to everyone, particularly students, to not take part in the Jump Trip or Skull Breaker Challenge. A statement issued on Tuesday said there have been local reports of students being injured while trying the challenge. The statement said, quote, parents and civil society were made aware of the challenge and the potential for harm. Despite appeals for caution from the Chief Education Officer, there have been reports of children engaging in the challenge, both in and out of school, and in some instances, children have been hurt. We are disheartened by these reports and the resulting harm to children and their families. The ministry said it values healthy, fun outdoor play, but the Jump Trip Challenge is not a fun or safe activity. All children should be cautioned from participating in the Jump Trip Challenge and should also refrain from encouraging their friends and others to do so. In commemoration of Black History Month, the Rastafari Nyabingi Theocracy Order hosted a week of activities from February 23rd to 29th dubbed Black Eye Story. Activities for Black Eye Story Month were guided by the theme Colonial Education Curriculum is a Threat to Black Empowerment. Public Relations Officer of the Rastafari Nyabingi Theocracy Order, Ras Aya, said it is important to teach history to young people.
So it's time now our people start looking at who we are and where we are going, because we don't know where we come from, we don't know where we are going. And we must be able to start indicating these things to our youths, not shining them from the history of their ancestors, but let them be aligned and make them be aware to what the ancestors have contributed to civilization. Give thanks.
The Black Eye Story Month of activities kicked off on February 23rd with the Groundation Nyabingi ICs at the Sandy Point Market. On Monday, there was a visit to the JNF Hospital, and on Tuesday, a visit to Bronte Walsh Primary for a book donation. An island-wide food hamper distribution to the elderly and needy took place on Wednesday, and on Thursday, there was a visit to Empress Sister Ijanaya Christian. Friday saw a visit to the gravesite of the revolutionaries. The week wrapped up with a closing session at the Sandy Point Farmers Market with a Nyabingi ICs on Saturday. And finally, the local scene. After journeying to Guadeloupe in 2019, the Alliance Francaise has once again partnered with the St. John Pierce High School in Guadeloupe to organize a 7-day exchange program. The project forms part of the global mission of the Alliance Francaise to support cultural and language exchange. At a press conference hosted by Alliance Francaise, Cultural Coordinator for the School Exchange Program, Tarina Jean, said the details of the exchange program.
It's the second part of this exchange. It started last year in 2019. We had a group of students here from Students of the Alliance that went to Guadeloupe. And now this year, the second part of it, we're receiving 27. We went 17 last year, and now 27 of the Guadeloupean students are coming for a week from March 3rd to March 10th. So we have 27 students from Guadeloupe and now 29 students from St. Kitts that are receiving them here, which include 24 families, Kittitian families, that will be hosting them for that week.
She said part of the mission is to give students the opportunity to practice using French.
The mission is to have a cultural exchange through language, to have them practice their French, reinforcing the French program and the high school. That's why the high schools are participating.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, William Hodge, said it is important for students to benefit from this rich experience. He spoke of the ministry's involvement in the week-long event.
The Ministry of Education is throwing its weight behind this activity. We are hosting a breakfast, welcome breakfast at Jay's Place in Sandy Point. We are assisting with transportation. We are assisting with transportation in St. Kitts and to go across to Nevis. Because this is important. This is important not only to treat our visitors well, but the experience for our children here.
Participating schools include the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Bastia High School, Washington Archibald High School, and Keon High School. During the week-long exchange, the students will participate in a number of activities, including a visit to Brimstone Hill and Carabel Batik, a tour of Nevis, an island tour with Scenic Railway, and an activity at the Dolphin Discovery Center. Coming up in regional news, Grenada retracts ban on G-strings, thongs, and wired bras. The details when we come back. And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. Organizers of Carnival in Grenada had earlier taken the decision to ban all G-strings and thongs. However, Spice Mass Corporation has since retracted their earlier statement and opened up the celebrations to its usual relatively unrestricted free fun and frolic, according to Luke TT. The earlier decision had even banned women with a breast size above D cups from wearing wired bras. Kelvin Jacob, the CEO of Spice Mass Corporations, had issued the statement on Monday as justification for the ban. Quote, understanding that we are living in a Christian society, our morals and values must be upheld. However, the board of directors issued a statement saying they reviewed the rules and regulations and made amendments which now say that there will be no full body paint and zero tolerance for nudity and indecent exposure. The statement comes on the heels of outrage on social media directed at Spice Mass Corporation. There were also calls for cancellation over the event amidst accusation of hypocrisy. In response, Spice Mass chose to rescind some of their earlier prohibitions. Coming up, Colombian court rules against lifting strict abortion law. International news is next.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Upfront. I'm your presenter, Shaira Flanders, and I have a very special guest with me today, and I'll allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you, Ms. Flanders.
How are you doing?
Very well, and I'm so excited to be your guest this evening. My name is Cindy Deming Nias, and I'm the institutional representative for Ross Edge. Ross Edge is an affinity group at Ross University where we believe in the advancement of women in leadership. We promote advancement of women in leadership, and so this is a great opportunity for us to speak about our women and to celebrate them on March 8th, dubbed internationally Each for Equal, International Women's Day.
Awesome. Okay, So speaking of women's advancement, I understand that you're going to be hosting an event to observe International Women's Day. So tell us about that.
Sure. So His Excellency, the Governor General, has graciously allowed us under his patronage to have this event at Government House happening this Sunday, March 8th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. All are invited.
Okay, all as in everyone. So that's male, female, the kids.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I want to take you back to the theme, each for equal. Equal opportunities for men and equal opportunities for women. And where there is equity, the world is enabled. And when we are enabled as a people, not necessarily as women, the sky is the limit.
Oh man, I am definitely going to be happy to attend this event.
But I must warn you, though all is invited, we only have seats for 200 people.
Oh boy.
And already our phones are ringing off the hook. So please call soon or you will not get a place to attend the event on March 8th, but you have an opportunity to contribute and partner with us to raise funds for the charity.
Okay, so what exactly happens at this event?
So at this event, we will be celebrating women on a whole, and some 15 to 20 companies have identified women within the workforce who has gone above and beyond in their work areas, in their expertise, and so they will be celebrated at this event and be given an award from the company for whom they work. Also, we will be having hats on the catwalk.
Aye, aye, aye.
Both men and women will be showcasing hats through the ages. So you may find someone modeling a piece, a hat or a fascinator from 1940. So perhaps 1940 through 2020. You can't miss it. So we are celebrating women. We are giving you a fun afternoon, and coupled with that, you will be having tea and, I must say, complimentary wine and cheese, in addition to the other food that you will be enjoying.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us now, for those who really want to get in on these tickets, how can we get these tickets?
Sure. Call Ross University 465-4161 extension 401-1154, or call cell phone number 662-4281. Remember, do it soon. We're almost at 200 person, but the door is wide open for any individual contributor or community contributor. And I want to say that Ross University, our teach values speak to us, helping each other as colleagues, as students, and the wider community in which we operate. And so Ross Edge is giving all of the net profits to a charity named the Garden of Rebirth. We're trying to raise $10,000+ and we are hoping that person will just call us, whether it's $50 you want to contribute, or $500 or $5,000. We welcome it. The more contributors we get, we help women who are being abused on a daily basis in our federation. I'm sure you know someone who has been abused, someone with children. And so the Garden of Rebirth provides education and a safe place for mothers who are abused and children. Someone may ask, well, what about the men who are abused? That too we will be able to contribute to when the time is right. But for now, because we're celebrating International Women's Day, each for equal, I am soliciting your support to come on board, whether $10, $20, $50, $5,000, and support this charity.
Okay, so for those of you who are tuned in, let's make it clear. The event is on Sunday.
Correct.
What time is it starting?
Sunday, March 8, 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Government House. That in itself is a treat. And it is not compulsory, but you may wear your fascinator and your glove and come on up to government headquarters.
Fancy.
It will be fancy, it will be beautiful, it will be a celebration of women.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us here on this edition of Upfront. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to this event on Sunday.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you and all the strong women in St. Kitts and Nevis, supported by our men, to make this a meaningful celebration of women in St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
Sure.
That's it for this edition of Upfront. I am Shaira Flanders. Stay tuned. More news is next.
Welcome back. Colombia's Constitutional Court has ruled to leave its restrictive abortion laws in place in most cases. The landmark lawsuit could have either seen abortion legalized or the return of a total ban. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rapienti reports from the capital, Bogota.
Throughout the day, supporters and opponents of abortion faced off in front of Colombia's highest court. Pro-choice activists hope magistrates would give women the right to terminate pregnancies of up to 16 weeks. In the end, the court chose to leave abortion laws as they are.
We think the court lost an opportunity to advance women's rights, but at the same time we are happy that the lawsuit that attempt to take away our rights was not successful.
There are 3 grounds for abortion in Colombia. Opponents say they already go too far.
Article 11 of the Constitution says life should never be dishonored, but there are deranged people who support these shameful reasons. No more, no more.
The latest debate rose from a case seeking a return to a total ban after the court allowed abortion in 3 instances in 2016, if the mother's life is at risk, if the fetus is malformed, or in case of rape. But even in these cases, many obstacles remain for women to access the procedure, especially if they're poor or live in rural areas. Despite the restrictions, health authorities say that at least 400,000 women terminate their pregnancies every year here in Colombia. Most of them do so illegally and in many cases suffer serious health consequences. Human rights professor Luz Angela Gomez is one of them. She sought an abortion when she was 17 at an illegal clinic, getting a dangerous infection as a result.
Abortions happen and will keep happening illegally. Even in the 3 legal cases, women face undue delays and obstacles, and often resort to unsafe options, facing more problems and even death.
The latest case has intensified an already fierce debate in the country over the legal and moral implication of abortion, which both sides promise to keep fighting for. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Bogota.
Up next in sports, basketball action continued on Monday at Basketball City. And Sandy Point, Newtown and Molineux Cayon are winners in the T20 competition. Stay with us. First up in sports, the basketball action continued on Monday at Basketball City with 2 games. In the first game, which was a junior encounter to determine which team will join Bird Rock Uprisers in the finals, Naba Chargers of Nevis defeated ASC Jayhawks 78-72, which means Naba Chargers are in the junior under-20 finals, which will commence on Wednesday when they meet Bird Rock Pelicans. Naba Chargers was led by Kijari Huggins, who made 27 points and 7 rebounds. He was assisted by Stevenson Providence, 19 points, 19 rebounds, 6 steals, 7 blocks, and Julian Emilian, 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. For Jayhawks, Rania Richardson made 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Makimba Fai, 17 points, 18 rebounds, 5 steals, and Aaron Wilkinson, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals. In the second game, Bird Rock Uprisers defeated Firestorm 72-60 in the first A Division game for the season. For Birdwalk, Taekwon Rogers made 25 points, 20 rebounds, 10 steals, 2 blocks. Luis Amparo, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, and Cecil Angel, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 steals. For Firestorm, Simba Hanley made 19 points, 13 rebounds, 5 blocks, and Makimba Foy, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. The league continues on Tuesday with one game, Challengers Exodus versus Newton Ground Blazers at 7 o'clock. Sandy Point, Newtown, and Molineux Cayon recorded wins this past weekend in Week 2 of the Keith Atherton T20 tournament. On Saturday, Sandy Point beat Uprising Stars with a 9-wicket win. Uprising Stars batted first, were bowled out for 86, with none of their batsmen getting to 20 and extras topping the scorecard with 21. In response, Sandy Point cruised to victory in 11 overs, only losing 1 wicket. Akeem Saunders top scored for Sandy Point with an unbeaten 46. On Sunday in the first game, penalty runs decided the encounter between Haynes Smith and Newtown. Top scoring for Haynes Smith was Javal Hodge, who smashed 49 not out. In the final game of the weekend, Molineux Cayon recorded a 52-1 victory over Young Guns. And that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. And we're wrapping up with a recap of the top stories. Town Hall meeting on Old Road Bay Road construction set for Wednesday. Government vows to do everything it can to protect citizens from coronavirus, and CMO outlines steps to protect oneself from the coronavirus. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrage. Goodbye.